stop the music. If that tune sounds familiar, it should. It is, of course, the national anthem, just not ours. Welcome to American Esoterica. If history class gives you the chicken, this is the funky, the essential stuff in between, the personalities, events, and other ephemera that shape our history and culture. I'm Brian Powers. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. When those words were penned by seminary student Samuel Francis Smith in 1831, he didn't know that they would become such an indelible part of our patriotic fabric. But in keeping with the grand tradition of such American musical luminaries as Aaron Copland and Elvis Presley, he borrowed the music from somewhere else. Had he known where he was borrowing it from, however, he might have chosen a different route. Smith's words were first performed publicly for a children's service on July 4th, 1831, at Park Street Church in Boston, which is about as patriotic of a location as you can get. Built in 1804 next to the Granary Burying Ground, where Paul Revere, Samuel Adams, John Hancock, and the victims of the Boston Massacre are buried. Smith had pulled a tune from a book of German school music. He had been tasked by a well-known composer and organist to either translate the words or write new ones in English. Smith became struck by one tune in particular, and out came our song. That tune was God Save Saxony, and what Samuel Smith was oblivious to is that it was a direct lift from the British national anthem, God Save the King. Of course, the origins of even that tune are murky. Nobody really knows where the tune came from. It could have been an English composer, a French composer, or even a Swiss military ditty from the 17th century. What we do know is that the melody's first known publication was printed in England in 1744. The first public performance of God Save the King took place in London in September of 1745 to show support for King George II. Its popularity grew, and it was generally accepted as the British national anthem by the early 1800s, which means that there is a tiny sliver of time where the tune took hold as a popular national anthem while Americans were still British subjects. So, it was our first national anthem. After our fight for independence, God Save the King would no longer do as a national anthem. When George Washington came to New York City for the very first inauguration in April of 1789, he was greeted with a brand new song penned just for the occasion. Hail thou auspicious day, for let America thy praise resound. Joy to our native land, let every heart expand, for Washington's at hand, with glory crowned. The members of the Lewis and Clark expedition might have sung this song, which was also popular at the time. God keep America free from tyrannic sway, till time shall cease. Hushed be the din of arms, and all proud war's alarm. Follow in all her charms, heaven-born peace. Okay, starting to see a pattern here. So originality was not their strong suit. It wasn't anyone else's either, though. It was such a good tune that it got borrowed and tweaked by no less than at least 6 other nations. By the 1790s, it was the Danish national anthem, and it became the national anthem of Prussia, Liechtenstein, Norway, Switzerland, Germany, and Russia. Norway and Liechtenstein still use it today. And this is kind of off topic, but for some reason I'm thinking of all those states that picked a cardinal as state bird. Is it just that good, or is everybody just that lazy? Anyway, from the 1831 performance of lyrics by a guy named Sam Smith who borrowed a melody from elsewhere, and no, not Tom Petty, wrong Sam Smith, the popularity of My Country 'Tis of Thee took off, until it became our de facto national anthem. Until about 1931, when it was officially replaced by the Star-Spangled Banner, a proud American patriotic song written as a poem by Francis Scott Key in 1814 after witnessing the bombardment of Fort McHenry during the War of 1812. It's far more original than the early anthem, as the music for it was composed by a red-blooded American. No, it was originally written by an Englishman as the song to Anacreon and Heaven for the Anacreontic Society, a men's social club in London. In case I need to put a further point on it, Anacreon was an ancient Greek poet famous for writing odes to wine, women, and song. Fine. Our national anthem was written to the tune of a jingle for an 18th century equivalent of a strip club. That was America with the purple mountains of majesty. Now coming to the main stage, give it up for the sweet lands of liberty. And remember, during happy hour, all flagons of ale are 2 for 1. Okay, maybe there was no stripping, but the lyrics did refer to a yellow-haired god and his 9 fusty maids. I'm sorry you misheard that. The word is fusty. I don't know what it means either. It was definitely a place for men to drink and get stupid. The Anacreontic Society eventually collapsed, but the song lived on, wherever there was drinking to do. It became a popular drinking song on both sides of the pond. So that's it. Our national anthem isn't from some high-minded classical work. It's from a drinking song. But that's definitely the end, right? This weird British club song just happens to fit with Key's poem down the road, and that's all there is to the story. Nope. Amazingly, it was the son of Robert Treat Paine, signer of the Declaration of Independence, who first stole the tune to create a popular American patriotic song, Anthems and Liberty, and that earworm was making everyone's Spotify year-end wrap-up in the early 19th century. It wasn't even Francis Scott Key's first attempt at using the tune himself. He had written an earlier poem to the tune as early as 1806 called When the Warrior Returns, about the American naval victory over the Barbary pirates. So that's it. Our national anthems are all just shameless knockoffs of other tunes from the British. It wouldn't be the first time, I suppose. But there's still one thing that bothers me, and that is directed at Mr. Key himself. The melody was already there, and you wrote the words to match. Why did you have to end the first verse with a question? Seriously, why is nobody else but me bothered by this? It's just weird. The inflection is all wrong. Does anybody ask a question with the inflection and the melody of the Star-Spangled Banner? Or rather, does anybody ask a question with the inflection and the melody of the Star-Spangled Banner?
This was my episode. Did you like my episode? Please let me know. I worked so hard on this, I nearly called it quits. Go tell your podiatrist, listen to this show.
This has been American Esoterica. All sounds are made by me, Brian Powers. Did I get it wrong? Did I get it right? Just want to sing Rufst du mein Vaterland, the former Swiss national anthem, with me? Drop me a note. The address is yell@americanesoterica.com. More information on this show and its episodes can be found at americanesoterica.com. Thank you for listening, and God bless America.